Too. Zane don't have his headphones on, so we're good. Jay can handle the gunshots. We are here. Hold on. We got some Yo, we are back. Therapy Without a Degree. I think this is chapter 267. 267 of these, yo. For real. Dead ass. And if we were like really consistent, we'd probably be at like fucking 310. But it's all right. We here. Therapy Without a Degree. Joe Fucarino's in the house, in the building, in the studio. We got Mr. Zane.
We have Zane in the building. How's it going, everybody? We also have I'll wait.
Yes, we got a very special guest. Want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yo, it's Jay.
Yo,
that sounds like a name for a
pet. A pet?
Yo, la pod.
Oh.
Yo, it's Jay.
Maybe that be your show name. Maybe Yo, it's Jay.
It's because they have to say your name is the name of the podcast. So it's like, yo, it's Jay.
I love it. And then we got Javi in the building. Yes, sir. What up, yo? We rolling on video, rolling on audio. This guy got the monitor. He just keeps getting new toys, yo. I'm soon never just gonna be the.
It look like a TV production right here.
That's what I'm
the
saying,
headphones and. We got to do BTS the opposite way.
You gotta start taking photos that way, right?
We got. You know what? I feel like we should do an experiment. Just like one. It could be an April Fool's. It's literally a whole podcast, but it's only on this direction. Like it's the opposite direction.
That would be hard.
Like we're talking, but we only see like Javier or anybody on this side recording this one.
Oh, that'd be fine.
Like so, you just hear us, but it's the person filming us.
I'd watch it.
Like just for one time, you're like, wait, what's going on here? And you're like, how long will they stay till they realize?
They're actually a podcast that I watch. They actually started doing that camera angle, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really cool. It is really cool, but it's not for the full episode. But it's kind of like how we do our show. Like everybody be kicking it, everybody be talking. So eventually, they got them their own camera.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it shit is hard. And I got to creep, and I got to see what equipment they're using.
That's every person that does film.
Yeah. I'm going to write it down.
As soon as they say like one little still in the video, they go like, what? What's that?
Add it to cart.
Yeah, add it to cart.
No, I sent it to him. So I take a screenshot, I zoom it, right?
Yeah. He was like, what camera is this? I was like, hold on.
FBI.
Actually, it was funny. My uncle hit me up today. He was looking for a friend that he met, and I found him. She just gave me his name.
I love it.
Like, I'm just saying, don't
I
sleep on Batman.
I do that too.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie.
I have a friend
I
I
find
called
people
to do that for me.
You have
I have a Zane, yeah. It's
you have a
really?
Zane?
You have a Zane? Jay got a Zane? No
go.
way. What a parallel world.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
You know who actually makes me do that all the time? My dad.
Really? That's hilarious. I need you to find somebody for me.
Nah, he does it all the time, but it's for the worst reasons, though. I feel bad. This is a funny moment to a second. He's getting older. A lot of, one thing is you get older, a lot of your friends start passing away.
Right.
So, like, he literally called me 2 days ago. He's like, yo, can you go, I want to go find where the wake is and all that. All the time, but he don't use social media, but to find out the info, he knows you can find it. So he's like, yo, here's a name. Find this, find that, find this. I be finding it.
That sounds like a mini short film.
Deep diving.
Yeah, I be finding all that shit. I got the websites, people. So, if you want me to find you a person, me or Zane, how much you charging?
Me? I ain't even set the rate. It just started.
Now.
I was like, damn, I didn't know I was that good. I told him, I said, maybe you should have hired me. That's a joke, everybody. Not a hint, it's a joke.
Well, for me, it's not a joke. You can pay me $2.99. I will find the person for you.
Oh my god.
This is therapy with a mission.
100%.
Therapy with a mission, everybody.
But man, I feel like I have not seen y'all, except for Jay, in a while.
Yeah, I
I
know.
feel like I have not seen y'all in a bit. Javi, where have you been?
You took a 2-week vacation.
Nah, before we started rolling, look, I really gonna have to start having somebody record before we record.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, maybe
like a little sneak peek.
maybe next week, maybe Jay, you could like just record and just as everyone just starts walking in, we get a little sneak peek.
Yeah, I'm
Of, like,
going
people-
to catch them off guard. They're not going to like it.
Exactly.
Just hanging off the ceiling. Like, oh, God damn it, Jay.
yeah, you done fucked up. All right. So I said, I was like, yo, I was really close to, going to the city. I'm not gonna put it out there, you know what I'm saying? But I was really close to putting up, posters like missing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
I mean, that's a friend that cares.
is that? See, that's what the fuck I'm.
Things that I can't hear.
Yeah, it's a friend that cares, man. Start putting up signs and shit. Nah, but the hobby's back, man. He's back in action. Backing up better. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Sometimes you do gotta hit that little reset button though in life. You know?
I'm taking like a mini
Yo.
vacation. Wait, what happened?
You know how I call Delisa my dog?
So fucked up. Yes.
If she ever goes missing, I'm gonna put like a photo of her, and I'm gonna be like, "Can you find my dog?"
Yo, that's she be disrespectful to her friends.
Oh,
I'm
man.
not
No.
I'm not
It's like
disrespectful.
it's
It's
not
like fun. It's fun.
It's like no,
That's
it's like sisters.
Yeah, I know. I already listen. Me and my boy. I was like, if you see a text between us, you be like, "How y'all still friends? How y'all still friends? Y'all ate at each other's houses. How are y'all still friends after this? We be going at each other's lives."
Now that is how it is. Like with me, Mikey, all of us. Rest in peace, Walter. That's how we all were. Like, they'd be fine. Like, yo, you cried today? They'd be like, yo, suck it up, Buttercup. Pull up your fucking dress. Like, come on now.
He's just like, God damn. And they were, yeah, you right. Yeah.
We were really harsh friends. Like, I remember, like, my mom used to, like, be like, are you sure? She used to sit me down sometimes, too. Like,
y'all.
Nah. She seriously used to, because she was mad. Like, we were mad cool. She would sit me down. She'd be like, Joe, you don't have to be friends.
There's a way out.
Yeah.
There's a way. Like, just blink twice if you let me know you need to just take you out. Just let me know. So it
Seriously,
doesn't become a Lifetime movie.
and I would talk to her. I'm like, nah, like, yo, we don't just, we different. That's just how we, how we fuck with each other. And she's like, okay. And then eventually, like 7 years later, I think she finally got it.
She got it.
Like they cockroaches, they ain't going away. It happens, yo.
I mean, I'm not gonna compare them to cockroaches.
I compare me to a cockroach.
Oh my God.
Gen Z, ladies and gentlemen.
Gen Z. Oh my
Z.
God. Why they had to use my letter? They couldn't pick another letter. They couldn't say like, I don't know, like Y, like Gen Ys.
Yo, they have a Gen Alpha. That's a cool ass name.
Why
What's
why
that?
couldn't y'all be those?
Gen-
Why gotta be
Gen
Gen Z?
Alpha.
What is that? Like,
That's my sister's generation. She's like 6, 5.
Gen Alpha. I can't wait. I'm actually excited because Gen Z is like, I don't even know what's going on with that. But what do you think the Alpha is gonna be? Like, I'm excited to see what generation.
I think you could look it up.
Like what they're gonna act like. Like
No, the names.
probably can with AI.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Gen Alpha is they're raised by like computers.
Oh, they're iPads. We're the iPhones.
So they're the iPads.
I'm pretty sure millennials.
Like the
are
tablets?
TVs. Yeah, the tablets.
Oh,
They're
we're
tablet
definitely
kids.
TVs. We're like more like laptops, like laptop and television,
Nah, we were definitely
because we kind of gave up on TV.
Okay.
Like, we don't be going to like
well,
watch
we grew up on
shows.
TV though.
We did. Like,
What does it say?
Generation Y, Boomerang generation.
yeah, the boomers,
What's that?
Exennial. Oh, they going down or so this is
That's
going up.
Gen Z.
Okay, so pretty much this is going down, right? And so like pretty much Z is you, and then the next one is Alpha.
Oh, okay. So Generation X, Millennials, Baby Boomers, Silent Generation, Generation Z, Generation Alpha, Greatest Generation, Lost Generation, and I'm pretty sure the rest are dead.
Well, no, a lot of those are literally dead. Half that. You know what's so fucked up is they call that generation the silent generation, and they really were.
Like
They're really just silent. Like, they would just shut the fuck up.
they didn't say nothing.
Yeah, the silent generation is like what you said is before boomers, right?
Yeah.
It's like our grandparents.
That's why they.
Oh, like
that's
the
why they'd
war?
be so restricted on certain things.
They were in the war, right?
Yeah.
In the Great Depression.
You know what? Then what are we gonna have then with the whole COVID? We had like 2 years of silence.
No, but COVID wasn't as bad as the wars
Nah,
in
it
the
wasn't
Great
that bad.
Depression. But I mean,
That COVID wasn't that bad. We were making movies and shit.
No, I mean like we talking like we were in a global pandemic. Like it was like, you know, there's like some people have wars and it's like that's their problem and then we have our problem, right? And then this is like everybody's problem. You know, how often do we have
Everybody problem?
everybody problem? And I feel like anytime you get that, it's like top tier, to be honest. It's like if it's like a global pandemic, I feel like that just puts it up there as like, okay.
Yeah, but that shouldn't have nothing on the wars.
On the war, it's the same effect. Death and death.
Nah, bro, that shit was...
wait, wasn't there another type of COVID, but it was like chickenpox or something?
That was before. That was like in the night. Every 100 years. I'll just put it that way. Every 100 years is something.
There was. I don't know what it was, but you're right. There was some shit that shut down the world. He's the history buff.
The Spanish flu, yeah.
That was
So
a
it was?
major one.
Yeah, I feel like that was was it worse than COVID?
It did. They have numbers. They have the numbers. Yeah.
So that's much worse. Imagine surviving through that, surviving through the wars, and surviving all that shit, being a silent generation or even more than that. And then the COVID happens again, and you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta go through this shit again.
If they made it that far.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I feel like the only reason it was worse is because we're so interconnected with the internet.
if
So
we didn't have the internet, we would have been like,
panic is like immediate and widespread, you know?
right.
Like then it's like, you know, by what you're told.
You think it would have been worse or
If we had internet back then?
well, the pandemic with the same technology in the 90s. Like, just no phones. Like, it's not, like, the only place you could get your media was TV.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would have been as bad.
this bad.
It wouldn't have been, you don't think it would have been bad. But because of the social media, it would,
Everything is amplified. People are always making shit up, giving their takes on it.
That's because we have access to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, before it used to be like you could talk to people within like the nation, right? Now you could like the web kind of linked the world. So now it'd be like, yo, are they telling the truth? Is it as bad? Now you start asking mass hysteria because we're ignorant.
Yeah.
You know,
It is crazy when you think about it, because like if we really go back, like when we were kids, when we were like 12, 11, we just started getting the internet. And right before that, the only where you got your information was
the
from,
library.
was from your neighbor, the library, or the TV.
That was it.
That sounds like it sucks.
It was crazy.
You know what? It was peaceful. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually peaceful. It was peaceful. No, I'm serious. Like you could, I was remembering us just walking, just biking. Didn't have no phone because it was like the Nokia, so I didn't really have nothing to do. So like,
You didn't play Snake?
that was the only game I had, and it was just the old, like you could break the sidewalk with this phone. Like it was serious, but it was great because you had to just talk to people. Back in the day, if you were bored, like you would always be someone that just so talkative. Now that everybody's on their phone, this is actually unusual for people like us. Like when you're just looking at your phone and then they're in a room full of people, it's just like before that it used to be like somebody gotta say something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was like just talking, or they would just put music on and block everybody out.
We still do that today. Like I talk to people.
So y'all do combos. Y'all put it on and y'all look on your phone and just ignore everybody. That's like, yo, if horror movies are made back like the same way they are today, I was like, y'all can't hear nothing.
Y'all would have got?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like, yo, for every movie, usually what is it? The person washing dishes and then they have the headphones on and they don't know nothing's going on. But when you're on your phone, you actually are so lost in your phone because it hits like a certain part in your brain. It's like a dopamine hit. And then you just get so addicted to it and so focused. That's why they say don't text and drive, because usually when you listen to music, you could like separate the two. But when you're actually focusing on the phone and whatnot, your brain is really in it. So then it's harder to pull you out of it, like reflex wise. So when you're like looking on your phone, it takes like a few moments for your brain to, like I'm driving.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's like it's tough. So when you're listening to music and in your phone, you wouldn't even it'll take a what's that? What, you know what I'm saying? So you can try it out. It'll be an experiment.
Try it out. Let's see.
I was like, I won't tell you. I just show up.
Hold on, before we get into that, Javi, I think this is just the headphones, right?
Yeah,
It's just the headphones. It's probably all of them. It's probably the adapter. Yeah, because we're all hearing it, so it's probably just the headphones. But as long as if you look at the green waves and if you see them like kind of cutting out, then. But I don't think that is. I really think it's just the headphones.
Yeah.
Yo, do you guys remember Pokemon Go, the mobile app?
Yep.
Yeah,
And people.
hell yeah.
That caused a lot of deaths just for
I was
people
just about to
walking
say
on
that.
their phone.
Yeah, and see what happened? They were so into their phone. It was less about the Pokemon.
Such a cool game.
It was a cool game, but they were so into their phone. For some reason, some people feel like they're immune to like reality. So like, prayers go out to the families who lost them in that situation. But like you're so into your phone, you're not aware of what's going on. So it's very unusual when people cross the street and they're on their phones at the same time. Like some people assume that no car is going to hit them.
I mean, if you're on the crosswalk.
It doesn't matter. Cars, people, there's people that control the cars. If the person who's driving is not paying attention or doesn't care, that's a variable and you might get got.
I see it as you might get paid.
Huh?
I see it as you might get paid. Like
that's if you survive. So like a lot of people, they also think about that. Like, I'll just sue. But that's if your mind is there, and if you're alive. At that point, your family's gonna collect, and you're gonna collect nothing. So you're basing that whole scenario on like you're thinking, I'm gonna get hit, and I'm going to be slightly injured, and I'm going to get lots of money. Those are that's if that's your thinking. I pray that it changes soon.
Yo, I got hit once and I ain't get $1 from that.
You ain't
shit.
get $1? I'm just saying.
Nah, but that was I just let him go. I let him slide.
that's your fault.
Yeah.
I would have took that opportunity. Oh, my back hurt. My neck hurt.
Yo,
In the 90s, it was heavy. People used to have neck braces in the glove compartment. Ah!
Yo, I was walking, and it was like a good day. Yo, like I was walking to my job on my day off just to get something to eat, and I fucking crossed the street, literally in the crosswalk, and the dude just turns right into me, just boom, right into me.
Like, fam,
Yo,
I wouldn't have let him go though.
Nah, I felt so
Like, he
bad.
has
man.
to catch
he
the
was
hands.
he was shook. He was young. Looked like he probably just got his license. He was with his girl. Like he was already embarrassed. Like
you might have enabled him to do it again.
Exactly.
Nah.
What if he was like, I got away.
Yeah, nah.
I could do it again.
Yo, I literally he hit me and I literally fell on top of the hood. And
Joe, this story gets better and better.
Nah, I did, and then
like-
I went to work. I went to the job. Nah.
What if Joe was just like, and I'm not even here right now, and then the clothes just collapse into the chair? He's like, what just happened?
But it wasn't a hard hit. You know why? It was one of those. Oh, I'm stopped. I'm looking left and then turning right. Yeah. But so he didn't look right. He probably looked right. Then he looked left. And then
So he didn't look back forth,
yeah,
and then
he just turned right into me.
Oh wow.
But he was stopped. So I had to go to walk. But yeah, he just turned right into me. I always try to treat people, man, how you would like to be treated. Like in those moments, that's where I be thinking. I be looking at me in that, and I'm like, yo, nah.
You could have got a hookup. You could
have bought you like a
chilling.
sandwich or something. Like he could have gave you like $20.
Right?
I could forget this for
Nah,
$20. You know what I'm saying?
I gave him
Depending on how serious it was. You
Yo.
know.
He didn't even get out the car. I just kept walking. I was like,
He didn't even get out the car. He didn't even give a damn about you, Joe.
He was shook. Like he looked like he shit fucking bricks. Like,
Bro, I'm
he
gonna make
was
a whole story on that.
He was so embarrassed. Like I said, especially because he was definitely with his girl or some shit. And he just looked like, yo.
What if it wasn't his girl?
What if it was a side chick?
What if
could have been his side?
What if she like, oh, he's about to get caught? Could have been anything, Joe. You
Nah.
could have done something.
Yeah, and then I have back problems to this day, which it could have been to that.
Oh
Yo,
my god, the
you
story
could've got
gets
so
better.
much
It gets
money
better.
from this.
You just never know, cause but also too, I was young. I was 19.
Yeah, you don't feel it then.
No, but not even.
You don't
that.
feel for like a few months.
Years.
Yeah.
And then you be like, what the hell?
No,
yeah.
literally. And then I started having back issues when I was 22.
Yeah.
And I was young, and then I started putting to it. I was like, yo, it might be because they say though, you know,
knocks the disc out.
They always tell you like even if it's not a big hit, like a little things in car accidents could sometimes be like really big things. And again, I was young, bro. I was fucking 19 years old. Like I didn't fucking know no better. Like I literally thought like, oh, I'm gonna be good at it, you know, like. And I just kept fucking walking. I went right to work, right on my day off. Went right back to eat. I'm like, yeah, I just got hit by a car. You know, it's not a day of my life. You know, that's how
typical
my life,
Jersey.
That's how
stuff.
my life was going those years. So I was like, you know what, just another day.
Just another day in
another
Jersey.
day.
Oh,
That's what we do in Jersey. We just
we just brush it off, right?
brush it off and keep on swimming. That's it.
Therapy without a degree. Keep on swimming.
You know what's crazy? I was on my way here. I realized there was a place like selling boats. Not that they sell a lot of boats. I was like, why would they sell boats in Lodi? And I was like, you know what? Honestly, it's not a bad idea. Because,
Jay's like, why?
Because I've been here for years and I wish I had a boat.
I mean, I live on a boat and like, no, I wouldn't live on a boat.
No, but like this town needs the boat. Like it makes sense that this town would be selling boats. Because it goes underwater. Yeah.
It's a submarine, not a boat.
No, but I mean like the boat. Wait, you talking about submarine?
You just said it went underwater.
No, I'm saying Lodi goes underwater.
But then
Lodi
she's right.
doesn't go underwater.
It does.
It does. No, I've like it's like serious. So selling boats is actually a good idea.
No. Or submarine, like she said.
Or I mean, if you have a submarine, that's probably the coolest. Like I don't even know who you are. I'd be your best friend.
See, we're good here. We don't go underwater on this location.
But like by like Kmart,
4 blocks away.
Oh, not Kmart. It's gone. She
Shop
went in
right.
the shop right.
In the gym.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like drone footage though.
Yeah, that my friend took that shit.
Yeah.
I'll show you later. It's fucking cool as shit. It's crazy, not good, not cool. Sorry. a lot of people
Edit point.
Yeah, a lot of people get their shit fucked up. But I'm from here all my life to where I know the parts of town that don't get.
So having a raft or a boat would be definitely beneficial to have if you live in the inner regions of Lodi. So I said, you know what? Not a bad idea. Probably sell some boats.
Yeah, my friend had to get rescued. Jojo from Napoli had to get rescued from the 7-Eleven.
What?
Because he was stuck there when the last time that it like.
We had to go on the roof?
No, I mean, he was just there. Like, it literally came up to pretty much like, because, it wipes out the TD Bank and all that.
Right.
So he was literally stuck at 7-Eleven. The boat and them had to come pick them up.
So they were like in the building?
Because they went to 7-Eleven after work to go get something real quick. And that's when it started. And by the time they got out, they literally could not leave.
And they were in the building.
I'm so happy
Oh,
I don't live here. I'm so happy I don't get no hurricanes, no tornadoes, no like weird ass lightning. Nothing happens.
That's just Jersey. That's just a typical day.
Nah, shit happens everywhere though. But thank God. Where are they selling boats?
By that picture tuxedo place.
Should send me their info because they would be a good social media client
for some boats.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Start selling some boats.
You gotta do that video where you're just knocking what's that? Just knocking down the sales.
Beating the competition.
Beating the competition. But I gotta be you, but it's like selling boats and you just like beating the competition.
That was a great fucking video. That was. But so what did I something I wanted to talk about today. We don't have to talk about it long. I know we can see what y'all have in mind. All right, when did y'all, and if y'all haven't, it's okay. And what are y'all thoughts on using logic versus emotion?
Emotion. Wait, both? Logic could help but also screw you over, and emotion can help and also screw you over. Either way, you're getting screwed over.
Why?
Because of the person that you're using that towards. Maybe. I don't.
So if you think about the two, emotional is really thinking more so on empathetic feelings towards a person, putting yourself in their shoes and kind of using your emotions of like whether it makes you sad, happy. Those are great emotions to feel, but it's not well thought out, because when you're logical, you're making sense of the situation, and when you're emotional, you are only making sense to the moment, and it might not be something that, like for example, I'll give you a quiz after, but the being logical makes more sense, but it also there's less emotion in it. So you might make decisions that feel cold, but it's necessary. So having the duality, both of them in the same room, it balances them out, because if you're too logic, you become too like cynical, and it actually makes the world crumble. And if you're too emotional, there's a lot of chaos that can come from it, because there's no order, because you're just like, well, everybody could do what they want, and you try to make everybody happy and whatnot, and it's a lot of love, hate, chaos, and there's not a lot of logical decisions being made. But having them both together, they kind of can talk and balance each other out. And the scenario that is like a scenario that an emotional person would make and a logical person in two different scales is if there is a train with if there's just a train and it's going to hit a village, right? The train has about 100 people in it. The village has about 2,000 in it. Which one do you save? And you have to press a button. Do you save the village or do you save the train? Now the emotional person is going to think, well, who's on the train? Yeah. And who's in the village? Then they start thinking maybe how many older people or younger people, or what's the babies? So if I said there's 100 babies on the train going towards the village, then the emotional person is going to save the 100 people. The logical person is going to save the most people, which is the village. So that's where when both people need to be in the room to make a logical decision.
Logical and emotional?
Yeah.
The train has babies, so it's young people who will probably somewhat outlive half of the population of the 2,000 people in the village and create more people. So 100 babies times a bunch of, over time, and how many kids they would make, that'd probably be 2,000.
Well, it depends, but I gave you more information. If I didn't give you that information, what would have been the result?
The village.
The village would have been saved?
Yeah. But like,
that's a logical decision. See, the emotional person is going to dig. The logical person is going to be like, no brainer. 100 people, take them out, done. And then save the rest of the people. But an emotional person is going to dig deeper. Because you're dealing with someone's lives.
Either way, you're not God.
Right. So then they start looking for who has the most innocence. And so now you start balancing out, is this a good village or a bad village? And then you start digging into morality, and they just keep on going. And eventually the time is going to run out.
Just don't press the button.
Just don't press the button.
And then people don't choose.
Fuck, there's more people.
But again, now is that then using emotion because you're too nervous, too scared? Again, that's another just emotion that you're going off of by not choosing anything.
This shit's confusing.
Right?
I'm confused.
But you just did really good. And you had no idea what we were talking about today. And you just smoked that. That's a whole clip right there. I'm cutting that for social media. Joe, edit that. Whole movie. Make that into a clip. But because I'm always trying to I'm always watching podcasts and shit, and these professional development ones. Except my Joe Budden one, that's more for fun and laughs. But I watch Grant Cardone and Eric Thomas and all them. And it's what I've just kind of really been noticing, even with Sean Stevenson and stuff, with all the podcasts that I watch for personal development, trying to become a better human and, grow. It's really that. It's really making logical decisions versus emotional decisions. And even just me, as I've been trying to grow and just become a better human over time, I just started to notice damn, okay, I have to, a lot of times we want to do things based off impulses, or again, our feelings. I think it's so natural for us just to do things off of emotion.
Right.
Whether we're scared, whether we're sad, whether we're angry, whether we love, whether we don't love someone, like you said, there's so many different reasons. When the emotional could play so many different factors. But I started realizing if you really want to be a better human and you want to really be the best you could be, I think you have to try to fight to choose those logical, like, responses, and those logical decisions. Why not?
I'm gonna give you another example.
He just said it was heartless. You want to be heartless?
No.
So when you're as a creator, as an artist, a lot of people put their what do you think they put their energy towards, emotional or logical?
Can you re-say that for me?
So like music artists or artists in general that create, they put their energy in one of two things, right? So it's either more on the emotional or the logical, right? So what do you think that majority of artists in this world, what do you think they put their energy more towards?
What type of artist?
It doesn't matter.
Well, logical for business, emotional for whatever they're into and love.
So the majority, you got pick
It's
one.
both sides. No, why I gotta pick one?
Just pick one. What do you think?
Emotional.
I think so as well. Because even sometimes the business, I think sometimes, like, again, like in business right now, someone could be like, yo, I'm going to give you $5,000. Yo, tomorrow you got to be here. Emotion.
Running.
Yeah, I'm running. But you didn't use logic to ask, what am I doing?
I
What's
don't
the
care.
contract?
I don't care.
But exactly.
Is that an emotional impulse, or because a logical person is gonna ask questions?
Okay.
Is that
I need
clean
the
money, dirty money?
I don't give a fuck. I need the money. That's it. That's the only thing.
You see. So people gotta learn how to balance it out, and the more the maturity is the balance of both. That's what the maturity. When one is like a little off, you start to see. Like whether you're like a little more on the logical side or you're a little more on the emotional side. What do you think Andrew Tate is? Like, what do you think? He's more emotional or more logical? Logical, right?
You
Why?
listen to Andrew Tate?
I don't. I just
You
know
don't
that.
like him?
I don't like him. Like
There's going to be a boxing match next year.
like it would be me against him, regardless of how much he talks smack on what training he has. I was like, if I was given the opportunity, I'd be like, yes, the day is here. But yeah, you said more on the logical. What do you think?
For Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Wait, no, I say emotional. Because he has a strong hatred. He lets that overpower his network he could be reaching.
That's a good...
You say he does what now?
He's not being smart about how much network he can reach because he's not dumb.
He's not dumb, but does that make him logical?
No.
Does it make him emotional?
Yeah.
So you're saying that he's acting on impulse?
Yeah, like you could tell he don't listen to the fuck he's saying.
So because he doesn't do that, it makes him more emotional because he's not reading the room and listening. He's just kind of just going off on a tangent, not really considering that if he was smart about what he said, he could network better.
Yes, I think he could do that. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here. I think at least with him specifically, I think it's a little bit of the opposite. And I think not saying what he does makes all the sense, but I think what everything at least we've talked about. Not to shift the whole topic to Andrew Tate,
right?
But like we've talked about him before. I definitely think that he is acting on all this. He's even said it. He turns on for the show. I think he's more of like an entertainer. So I think that's him using his logic to say, if I throw on an act, I'm gonna get more views. Because we don't know what he's really thinking. We don't know what his real takes are.
No.
We don't know if these are his real thoughts.
Who the fuck would say this shit he says? Huh?
Well, that's
unfortunately sometimes
think about
views.
It. If who else would? If you're one of those individuals that are just kind of going off on a tangent, now you start putting yourself in. Oh, this guy, he has no filters. You know what I'm saying? Like the more unfiltered a person is in society, and they stay within legality, they become the most interested person.
Oh.
And it's like a race. It's always a race. Like, it's never like, oh, we're just going to keep it here. For some reason, it just keeps on getting challenged over time. And then one person that challenges too far, they get arrested. And then we never see them again. And then the next person starts pushing. So, like, every time, like every few years, we're always going to get somebody pushing the boundaries in terms of what people can say, how they should say it without any type of backlash. And then they don't care to get canceled. So those people are, whether they decide to be logical or emotional, they're still like progressing like the culture or just progressing society into just like opening up their mind. And that's been going on for years. So in terms of like emotional, like if you balance out the both of them, I feel like you're more sound. But like if you're more on the emotional side, you're gonna make some decisions that are not for the people. Like if you're so far right or so far left, if you're too logical, you're gonna come off as like an evil villain like Thanos. And he was very logical.
Or Donald Trump.
Or Donald. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say that. Just like, oh yeah, this is how it needs to be, and blah blah, without thinking about the results that's gonna happen. But you could also argue that it's based on emotional and on his ego. So he's just an emotional person that has money, and he could use it however he wants.
But, yeah.
So he's an emotional person that has a budget. But it's just like now they can do more. But if he didn't have enough money, then he's just gonna cry on social media until somebody notices him. You know, so that would be the emotional side. So it's like we don't really we see a lot of emotional or a lot of logical, and then that's like if you look at the top podcasts that we see, people that we like. Do you find that most of the people that you like are emotional type people, or do you find them to be more logical type people?
Both. Like they already know how to balance both. That's why I listen to them.
So you look for a duality between.
Real. That's real.
That's real.
I feel that. What about now for Zane, for you? Do you feel like right now, where are you at in most of your like decision making? Are you like 50-50? Do you think you make your decisions more like emotional, more logical? What do you feel you're at now, and what were you before? Like for you, what's that journey been like for you?
I would say I was more logical in the beginning and less emotional. When I started, I was more thinking like, all right, you put up a post, you have things prepared, you do X, Y, and Z, because I did a lot of research and made sure everything was on point. But what I didn't factor in was that you have a variable, variable human emotions that you have to deal with when working with people. So they might come in like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z with you, and then do the shoot, and then they're gonna finalize the transaction, right? And then everything is all good. Might have people who have high egos. They might be, maybe they're not a nice person. So now you have to figure out a system around that. And if you're a logical person that's not trying to bend and like, oh, maybe I said come here at 5 and then you're here at like 5:30. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I give them wiggle room or do I just cut them off and never work with them again? And if you're logical and you're like, yo, you didn't show up at 5, done. Now, I said this to a lot of clients. I said, no, I'm here to make sure that the job is finished. As a wedding photographer, how much of an asshole would it be if they didn't cut the cake yet and there's a lot of things that are happening and the day was pushed so back like maybe 2 hours, and then I just said, yep, it's 11 o'clock, it's time to go. Yeah, but we didn't get not my problem. You should have done that before. Now, they're not gonna want to hire me. Granted, it's a wedding, but there's no referral because I was more logical instead of emotional. You know, so it's like if you
I don't know though, because then what are you being more emotional? Because now you're like, oh damn, well the time is near.
No, well it's contracted. It's if it says like 11 o'clock, it's on paper, and if I were to follow the guideline, it's really not emotional. Now I'm just saying like, yeah, it's this time. Now if you want to pay more, then we can do that. And that's me trying to help them out. But like realistically, I was like, no, don't worry about it. That's the emotional part. Is like I was like, this is a special day. Why stress this out? Like, let me just finish the day or finish the project, whether it's a wedding or a small project. Just finish it out. Everything's running behind because people get like elevated in anxiety when there's like a solid deadline, like a harsh out. You know, you give people some wiggle room. You know, like movies, they give you trailers. They give people enough time to be late. Like, yeah, it's all good that, you know, you have the trailer, but they know people run a little late, so they give you some trailers. So, Matt, I went to one movie, and I said, I hope they never do this shit again. They started the movie on time. Like, on time.
Really?
Like, you know how it says, like, 8:30, you know,
Yeah.
oh, I got some trailer. No, 8:30, the movie started.
That's right.
I said, no way. I was there before, but it was just like that. Now I had anxiety, but but I didn't want to go back there again because they started on time. I was like, oh no, this is.
Yeah, you ain't going to that theater.
Not go to that
That's
theater
why I go
no
to
more.
AMC all the time.
Yeah, it's
AMC
just
gives you 20 minutes.
give you 20, 30 minutes depending on what kind of movie it is. But like, it's just, I think that's one of the best parts. But if they knew that they couldn't just start on time, they had to give people some wiggle room. So you'll have some businesses that they need like an emotional ambassador or something. Someone to really like help people like, hey, that's not a good decision. That's kind of heartless. We should change that. But they change the name around. They call it something different. But like essentially, I think most businesses, they need that. Like they need like an emotional ambassador because most businesses are very logical and they like, we don't have time for that. No, that's not what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're on the schedule. Blah 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 blah. And the longer a business is, some of these businesses become less empathetic with the people that put them on the map in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving back. I'll say shout out to Ben and Jerry's for being consistent.
I love Ben and Jerry's. I don't know why we shout them out, but like I'm so hungry.
Nah, because they've been always...
They were like advocates for like social justice, like, you know what I'm saying, like they've been doing, and they've been doing that for years. Like, you know how there's certain people that like they just started when they've been doing it for years. You know, they've been fighting for a very long time for like social justice and whatnot.
And they've always been just active. Like they're a very active brand. They still treat their brand like it's a small business.
They do. I feel that.
Small business.
I do feel that.
Yeah.
Like it never feels like Ben and Jerry's trying to be like what's it,
Coca-Cola.
Turkey Hill or Turkey or like, you know what? Shout out to Arizona too.
I love Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona.
$1.
I know, no, 99 cents, right?
99 cents for all these years. They still kept it real.
Nah, man. Some places $1.29. I don't want to hear that shit.
Not because the
For
place we
Arizona.
charged it $1.29.
Yeah, sometimes.
Not the original Arizona. They don't charge.
Sometimes, yeah, some spots they have.
Nah, they be playing games, but it's just like, you have that level of consistency even through the inflation as time went by. They still kept it $1, and they still making their money. You know what I'm saying? They be like, thank you.
Y'all the real ones.
Y'all the real ones, because they balanced out the emotional and the logical. That's it.
Word.
You know? That's my 2 cents. What about you? What did you feel? Because mine was, I started off logical and then I started to
Coming in more
go
emotional.
into the emotional.
I think honestly, it was the opposite. I think I was definitely always more on the emotional side. I probably would say I was probably 70 emotional, 30 logical, and now I think I've definitely reversed.
So you were first emotional and then into logical.
Yeah, I definitely made a lot more of my decisions for a while growing up, and even into my early 20s and stuff. Definitely more emotional than logical. Then over the last probably like 6 to 7 years, maybe even a little bit more. Now I'd say I'm probably like 60, 70 logical, and the rest emotional.
67 is strong.
But it's hard though. I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard. But I always have to remind myself, like, you gotta like look at yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
For the emotional
tough.
part?
Yeah, well, to keep the emotional side lower. It is tough. But it is something that literally it's been a process of like growing and like a lot of personal development to change that. It's really, really fucking hard. You know,
I hear you with that. Like it's logical is always the thing that I had, and I was just always to myself when I was younger. So logical is like that's how I would play video games, and I would find the little Nintendo glitch, where it's just like, and then I would just exploit like certain weaknesses in the game, and then that's how I beat some of the bosses. And but I was like very tactical when I was younger.
That's no fun.
Well, for me, it was just like I'm here for a mission to get it done. Most people they get like mad and whatnot. I would get mad, but then I would be like, all right, now I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna do this and do that, and then but I like puzzles, so that was just me. So then when it came to like working with people, it's like I'm thinking in my head that people would probably be as logical as me. No, they were not. I was like, wait a minute, this is emotional. So it's like, oh, I have to. There's certain things that work and certain things that don't work. People gonna be on time. People not gonna be on time. So it's just like you have to learn how to be adaptive, in an environment. I was more so like an introvert before I started doing like photography, like filming, and then over time I became like an extrovert, mainly because I was working with a lot of people and I was being around more extroverts. So then I started to learn like, oh, it's okay to be like, to not say nice things, but to like compliment people and to.
You never used to do that before?
Nah, I just didn't. It's not that I didn't want to. I just didn't do it. Just didn't do it. That was it.
I'm an intro. Isn't an introvert someone that keeps to themselves?
Yeah.
Like I can't even open my mouth to be like, hey, I need to use the bathroom. But like if I see someone gorgeous on the street, I'm gonna scream, "Oh my God, you're so pretty!" Like I can't help it. I need to.
You need to compliment.
I need them to know that today that I saw you and you are gorgeous.
Let them fucking know.
No, it's something that has to be conditioned. If you don't condition it, it's not gonna just magically happen. Like as you get older, oh, I'm gonna be more emotional. No, you have to condition yourself in certain situations, such as if you want to compliment more, you need to start like looking in the mirror, compliment yourself, and then start complimenting others.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at least you have to like go in the mirror and like that could be part of your mantra, and then say like 3 nice things about yourself, and then you could start the day, and then 3 nice things to 3 different people.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, and that has to be like a daily thing.
And it is. It's even like with me with my shifting. A lot of it was listening to a lot of successful people's perspectives, like literally constantly, like every single day. Me watching Grant Cardone every day, Eric Thomas every day, showing like all these different people, like successful people, listening to them every single day and hearing their perspective. And that's when I even started to realize it. Eventually, it got to a point like, oh wow, okay, no, these people are making more logical decisions. So it was that practice every single day of hearing scenarios and stories, and then even trying to bring it into like my own life of like something happens and me trying to, like, yo, let me chill out, because it also works a lot of hand in hand with like mental health, because I was going through a lot of mental health issues for a really, really long time. So while fixing that also kind of fixed the decision making as well, because to try to like break through like the whole mental health stuff was like, all right, let's like, yeah, we're emotional, but let's try to like bring this down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So within that and the personal development, it kind of like all went hand in hand. But for you, Jay, what do you think? Are you more emotional with the decisions or more logical? What do you think? Like, what do you think your percentage is?
It's so real for this. Logical thinking hurts my brain, and emotional thinking kills my heart. Yeah. I don't want to hurt my brain.
Like how people have like a circle or the pie chart. I see like an infinity chart where it's like where it ends, it begins, and it ends, and it ends and it begins. Like, yeah. So what you're saying is you have 10% logic.
Honestly,
or
like
20% logic.
8% logic.
You have 80% logic.
8.
I thought this
was 8. She said 8.
I was like, oh, I was like, wait a minute, that's a lot of logic.
And probably like whatever is left over emotional.
So 92% emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're emotional. Pisces too. It's an emotional.
Yo.
You know what I mean? But no. Yo, when you're emotional, like I literally, I'm telling you, that is literally who I've always been. And that's one thing I was thinking about today. I was I was going 7-Eleven and I was getting a coffee and I was like, yo, it's crazy how many men out here in this world that are like emotional but hold that shit in. You know what I'm saying? Like people cry. Like today was a really hard day for me. Like a really hard day. I fucking cried like 4 times. Fucking Napoli. And I was like getting out of there and I was like, yo, you know how many fucking men just don't even like just block that shit in or couldn't even get themselves to be emotional? Like I was even in the moment fighting myself like, Joe, fucking stop being a little bitch.
I have a question.
But then I'm like,
I have a question. And this is a question like it's a general question, but it's like how like we know ourselves and we talked about emotional and logic. Do you become less of a person? Like, do you become more of yourself if you're more emotional, or do you become less of yourself if you're more logical? Like, I feel like people are challenging within themselves. Like, if I'm more logical, I'm losing who I am.
It's tough though, but I've just noticed, at least in my life, and multiple people in like the world, and successful people, and just people that are and not even just successful, just people that just seem more happier and everything. No, it's unfortunately it has to do it a lot with logic. Like emotions is, and when you really it's a deep ass topic because when you really think about it, emotions can sometimes take you, can fucking kill you, yo.
Absolutely.
Your emotions can kill you, and it's unfortunately I've had to learn that shit. Like as I've got older, like yo, my own mom, emotional. It killed her. You know what I'm saying? She was emotional because she always just she wanted to feel numb. She didn't want to feel her pain.
Right. So
she fucking bullshitted and fucking just because again that was based off of emotions. It wasn't based on logic.
Right.
I say life.
Life can.
Some people can survive life. Some people just can't. That's definitely.
Life will put you, and that's what it is. Life will test you.
I'm not gonna lie. Life is a very tough thing to grasp when you when you still haven't figured out reality, or your reality is there, and then all of a sudden things aren't like you. Not that you say you live in like a fairy tale, but you're like, is this really reality right now?
Yo, I
like
still be
sometimes it kind of, and then some people they it's like not that they don't want to adjust. It's just sometimes you be in those little bubbles in your life. Like this shit ain't making sense, and it's like it's not making sense for X amount of time. When will this start making sense?
But that's you now using logic.
Right.
Because when it doesn't make sense, we just get either
Well, you're in the moment.
Yeah,
you're not going to think, oh, okay, let me make sense of this situation. You're so angry, mad, like sad.
Whatever, yeah.
Like you're so into it. By the time you realize when you get to stop, you're like, wow, I went through a lot of stop signs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that in a metaphorical sense. Like you just blasting through stop signs, and you realize, damn, maybe I should have just slowed down and looked to see where I was going. But sometimes we just get like
we just want to get hit.
You just want to go there and whatnot. But then you feel like things are like slowing you down, and then you're like, what's going on? Like we always wanna speed up our experience. And then when we try to do that in a short amount of time, we start to, you know what I'm saying? Time heals all. And you're like, well, can we speed that up? And then when you start to think like that, you start to act reckless.
100%. That's why I always say one of the quotes I say all the time is trust the process. Because I've had to learn that. But I never, it took me a long time to like understand. Like, nah, just, you got to give time. You got to just trust the process. But again, that took a long fucking time. But even like you just said, there's so many times when we go through things that we don't even think, like we just go right to emotion. You know what I'm saying? We go right to emotion and we go through mad different emotions before we even get to thinking logical. So like for me, I want to like challenge people to like just pay attention to it. That's why I want to bring this up. Just pay attention to it. Like when you go through something or you're dealing with something, try to, it's okay. I say, the reason why I mentioned before about the whole feeling, and don't suppress the emotions. Like I don't want to come off like I'm that person saying you have to suppress emotions and not feel and not be emotional.
That's even worse.
Yeah, I don't want to say that at all.
Yeah, some people just like they get emotional and they
just stop.
That's the craziest part.
No,
Lord, what I'm about to say? Like some people get so emotional that they rip out the emotional part and they only become logical. And you're like, what did you do? What did you do?
Real shit right now, you could die from a heartbreak.
Oh no, absolutely. This is true. This is absolute. This is
So that's
doctors
like
can't really prove, but it's you just your whole body's just like I'm done, and then you feel it because you're sad. You're so sad that you start tunneling in within yourself and imploding, and then eventually you just that's it.
Yeah.
Like it's a sad thing.
And you go through different phases, yo. Like for me, for actually a long time, up until a few years ago, I was just very just numb to shit. Like I'm talking about, like like one of my best friends in the world passed away, and there was moments where I couldn't even cry because I was so used to, I got so numb to the pain. You just naturally just start getting like, you get fucking hit in the head so many fucking times. Eventually,
you're like, oh, I didn't.
whatever,
I know I'm bleeding, but I don't feel it.
Don't feel shit
Yeah.
anymore.
But then I think for when I started being very intentional about, again, my, when things happen, that emotion, the logic and all that, I think working through that helped me out a lot. So now, thank God, I feel like I've kind of balanced myself out a little bit, but it's just, if you're an emotional, very, very emotional person, or if you're a very logical person, and no matter what you do, I just want to challenge you, if you're listening to this or you're watching this, just to try to just think about it more. Like really sit there and think about it in that moment. If you get hit by a car, are you using your emotion because now you're flipping the fuck out, going crazy on this person? That's probably you're being emotional, right? Are you crying? You're being emotional. No. Again, back to that story we were talking about before, that was me being emotional. You know why I was being emotional? Because I'm thinking, oh, wow, homeboy over here, I don't want him to look no type of way. I feel bad for him. That was me being emotional. Like I don't want to get his, insurance up. I don't want to get him in trouble by his parents. Like I'm being emotional. I'm not using logic. Logic would have been, no, I could be cool and I don't have to flip out, but let me get homie's information. Let me go to the hospital and get checked. That would
because you could cover.
Yeah, you just never know. Or just, that's me using logic. Hindsight now, 33 years old, that's what I tell my 19-year-old self. But again, in that moment, I was just being emotional. And again, emotional doesn't mean crying, flipping out. I was doing none of those things. But my decision was based on just emotion. So that's just something I just kind of want people to like sit with and just think about a little bit. I think we got Javi thinking over there. He's been looking deep in thought. What's your percentages? What do you think? What do you think right now, current day, for your stuff like what we're talking? What is it?
I think I'm definitely more logical today than I was when I was younger. Like when I was younger, I was more emotional, acted more off impulse.
Younger as in what? What ages are we talking? Like
probably like 14 to like 21, 22.
You were more what?
More emotional, and I would just do stupid shit off impulse, especially like when like you're around other friends who are also emotional. That's why it's always so important, like the people who you hang around.
Oh yeah.
Because like you might not be so you might not do something off impulse, but because you're with your friends, like it's like fuck it, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, YOLO.
Exactly. So like, but like sometimes I have a lot of friends that YOLO life, like it could end your life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like I learned that, and I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Do you think that's maybe what helped shift it for you?
For me, 100%.
Oh.
Living that reckless life, emotion, because it comes down to order and chaos.
The order for the chaos, I was just talking to my mom about this. Wait until you're like about like 60 or something, maybe even just where the age where you're able to just go crazy. Just go crazy. Try every drug in the world. Jump off a cliff.
Edit point. Edit point.
If you're about to die soon, fuck it.
If you have like stage 4 terminal cancer, it's like
I feel like at that point,
jumping out of a plane today.
Make-A-Wish Foundation would be lit for people over 60. Like just for people who just like, hey, I want to be able to do these things without having but within the legalities.
George Bush did that.
I was about to say.
George Bush, when he got old, or was it Bush or Kennedy? One of the presidents was like, I was always scared to jump out of a plane, but now I'm old. And it was like his 60th birthday or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you've lived. Like, some people are like, yo, you lived and, like, you'd be able to do what you need. But But then it also begs the question, like, yo, at what point do you mature, right? You know, like,
My thing is, as long as like YOLO, as long as it doesn't affect your life later. You feel me? Because like shit like that, you can never take back.
right, like you gotta be mindful. Like my I learned to halt my impulsive when it came to like Amazon or ordering stuff online.
Yeah.
You know, impulse buys because I need this, but it's like, you know, logically you need to wait. You know what I'm saying? Because I bought a lot of camera gear and a
Yo,
lot of
Amazon
stuff,
is deadly.
right?
It was $300 a week, and I'm like, bro.
You could have invested, but then you didn't know. But then you like,
Need a fresh kid.
If I put in Bitcoin, I'd be a millionaire right now.
oh, I wish I did. I had the opportunity,
Yeah,
and I
right.
didn't.
Sneakers in my closet.
Right. That's why, like, you know, when it comes to like investment, like I just found out it was like a video on Instagram where Blue Ivy has been working for her parents since she was 2 days old.
That's Jay-Z's kid, right?
Yeah. Like she's been working, like her salary and everything, like because, you know, he did it so early and whatnot, like she's set.
That's so far.
She's set
That's so far.
at 2 years old because
Blue
she,
Ivy.
He said even if she ain't working.
even if she's not working,
He's
but
just trying to teach her skills.
right,
You feel me?
which a lot of you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be Jay-Z or Beyonce to do these with your kids,
They got rich by having those skills.
right?
100%.
And I
They
feel
came after.
right, and I feel like we need to be focusing on that instead of focusing on the alternatives. I'm not gonna mention their names, but I just think that some people, they need better role models. And the moment you're enlightened, like, I'm not anybody's role models, that is a lie. It's a lie. You become a role model. You become a role model the moment you get in the spotlight, and there's nothing you could do about it. That's as simple as that.
Stuff like that, I think sometimes parents get confused because, like, when you're a parent and you start getting a bunch of money, like, especially if you're on, like, a Jay-Z level of fame and fortune,
Right.
it's like you want to give your kids everything that you never had. But I think you should teach them the things you never knew because that's, like, you can spoil them that way and then they'll be, you feel me?
Right, teach them soon, like how to pay bills, or let's stop. Like we said this on the podcast a long time ago, but let's stop resetting our kids and let's just give them the castle and teach them how to continue how to maintain that castle. Instead of like, all right, you're on your own, and you keep doing that over and over again instead of
Which is so
passing
trash.
down castles.
Which is so fucking
I'm like,
trash.
oh my god, yeah, you're gonna start from the bottom up. Why not teach you how to maintain the up?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? No, we got to make you humble by putting you at the bottom. Oh, my God.
That actually, what y'all were just bringing up reminds me of a quote. It's a powerful quote. It's a good thing you reminded me because I wanted to share it on the podcast too.
Yeah,
But
you should send it to me.
this is by one of my favorite speakers. Literally, this dude gets me emotional every time I listen to him. This dude is the man, bro. His name is Ed Milet. He goes, one of the most insidious forms of child neglect is a parent who doesn't chase their dreams and their potential. And he breaks it down in this video, and he's like,
But like, how are you supposed to do that sometimes?
You still can't. Well, the people that we around, there's people who have their own business and they're still pursuing. Like, you know, Crispy. He's a parent and he's pursuing his dream and he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't stop him that he has a kid. He's still doing what he wants to do, and he's doing it.
What if their dreams are just to still be here today and provide a nice house and a nice
If that's their
environment?
dream and they're already in their dream, then they're content.
Are you saying that you're not content in the position that you're in?
Me? Oh, I'm not even near. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Nowhere near. But I'm walking towards it. But I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But for those who are, and they got what they want, they should be helping if they have kids, helping them get to where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you reached your destination and you are content and you're good, then you should also direct the energy to helping your kids do the same.
word.
You know what I'm saying? They might have bigger goals than you, which is perfectly fine. Because back in the day, some people just wanted a house, a fence, a dog, and that was it. And they were good.
The American dream.
The American dream, right? And then they were set and they were good, and that's where their dreams had ended, and that's what they strive for. Nowadays, you could get that, and it's like, all right, but but that's not everybody's dream. Someone's dream might be, I want the number one selling ice cream in the world, and they, it might be unachievable to others, but they want to do that. So they have a family, and they're doing that at the same time, building the best ice cream brand in the world, and that's their dream. So if they have that and they haven't achieved it, then what the message is saying, like, they should still do it, and by them doing it, they inspire their kids to do it as well. Kind of like DJ Khaled and his kid, he always like praises him, like, yo, you could do it, and blah blah. Like, he's pursuing his life, and he's also showing his son, like, you could have this too one day, but you're gonna have to catch up because I'm still going.
Still on fire.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep up to me. I'm not gonna slow down. Like, there's like Robert Downey Jr. He has kids, but he's like, I'm not slowing down. Y'all gotta keep up. Jackie Chan has kids. He's like, y'all gotta keep up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
said he's not giving any of his money to his kid.
I believe it, because if they don't know, and like most of them would say, like, yo, if you don't know how to get your own money, then how you gonna maintain that money? You're gonna blow it away. You ain't gonna waste my money. But also, if you're Jackie Chan's kid, you shouldn't have a problem getting work.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Who's your father? Jackie Chan. Oh, all right.
Boom.
They're like, you get any job that you want.
Fuck that, man. The dreams are big over here. I want a jet. I want a jet. Literally, I am not stopping until I can have a jet and I can fuel it and I can actually go places. Yeah. Like, that's when I'll be like, you know what? I can just maintain my life.
But it's like I said, it's subjective. Everybody got different.
Oh yeah, everyone got different dreams.
Everybody got different dreams. But the
100%.
point of that message was, you got to pursue it regardless if you have kids or not.
And whatever the dream is, doesn't have to be a fucking huge. Whatever the dream is, your dream is to have a house. Your dream is to whatever it is. You gotta chase that fucking dream.
My mom wanted to be a dancer and a lawyer, right?
Oh.
I ended up doing some dance stuff, and I thought about being a lawyer, but I'm great at doing debates. So it was just funny that I was like, I could have, but I didn't. But it's like, it would have been like my mom's dream. It became something that I wanted, and that was her dream. I was like, a dancer or a lawyer. I was like, wow, I could have been either one of those.
Yeah, this guy's a pretty fly dancer. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then being a lawyer, like just as like, I was like, damn. I was like, why didn't I never pursue that for some reason? You gotta be good at history, and I'm good at history. So it's just like,
you could be good at everything.
You could be good at anything if you put your mind to it. 100%. So like, she never let my dreams just fade out. So she's like, listen, you can do anything, you put your mind to it. As long if it makes money, it makes sense. That's it.
100%.
If it makes money, it makes sense.
It makes sense. Yo, this was a fire fucking episode, yo. Let me fucking tell you.
Yo, my back hurts. My neck and my back hurts.
So you're gonna have to get like those things in the back for your cushion, so that way it'll be like, so you'll be like this.
I know. I just need.
Cause I know that chair rocks back.
She's like, nah, I just want to lounge.
Just want to lounge. She's gonna be the only one with a special chair.
I need a special chair.
Word. This was good shit though. Today was an interesting day. We got represented in the record. Put it over here so we can show it.
That's what I was gonna say in the beginning, but I figured
it's lit. All right, we were over here. We'll find the page for people. So shout out to the record, yo. Shout out to the writer for this, for pushing. This was actually in the 201 magazine. They reached out like a year ago, and for the interview. So like a year ago we did this, and then it took them a little while, but they put it out in the magazine, and then they put it in the record. So shout out to the North Jersey Record.
What page?
Yes, sir.
Right. Well, it's a 1 day thing because it's a newspaper. So if you didn't get it today, can't get it. But
you got a bunch, right?
Yeah, I got a few of them.
You gotta sign it for me.
August 15th, right? And yeah, we got Zane here in this one. These are the photos they chose too. I sent them a bunch of photos. They chose them, and we're here on this page as well. That was when we were in LA interviewing Imani.
Sweet.
So,
I got my hand in there.
Yep. And everyone is featured in this article. Javi's featured in the article. Jaylene is. We got Zane. So if you read through it, you'll see what we're talking about in there. But no, and in all seriousness, y'all, like I'm super grateful, super fucking blessed.
What page number?
What page you said? It is it was actually like the last page. I don't know if it's not numbered, but it was the last page in the record. And the record, the Herald, and I think the Asbury Press too.
Oh, sweet.
So it was in all, and it's on NorthJersey.com, which is really dope. And again, this is super, super grateful. I honestly a loss for words, but you know, I'm
Good shit, man.
thank you, bro. I'm just proud and happy that people can hear our messages, hear our perspective. This actually told a little bit of the story about the podcast. This was more towards that. This was also towards the series. So I hope people can get a chance to watch the series and just hear those messages. You know, I wrote that series and I poured my fucking heart out in those scripts in those 3 episodes. You know, so many different things that I went through, that I've been through, and friends that have been through, and we put all that in there. So, you know, we did that to, you know, help people, to maybe give people a little bit different perspective on their situation in life, to maybe make them feel better and to remind them that, you know, it's going to be okay. So I'm super grateful that this exposure is out there so that message could just reach more people. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So it's crazy, yo. But it just shows you what, you know, persistence and hard work does. I bust my ass every single day so we can get this message out there. Also, so we could become more successful within Jersey media. You know, like I do this shit every single day. You know, Jaylene's one of my biggest motivations in the fucking world while we do this shit, along with many other people, along with Zane, to make our community better. Because first for me, it's always family, just to try to do better for the family, and then it's the community, then it's our friends, the people we love. You know, the more we grow this shit, the more we're all going to be able to be better. You know what I'm saying? And that's at the end of the day why I try to always push. Because like I've said on a few episodes ago, like, you never want to be selfish. If you're selfish, you're just thinking of you. I'm good and I could have been good a long time ago, but that shit is selfish. You know, so I want to always push to the next level so I can make sure I can help have an impact on your life. I can help have an impact on your life, on everyone that we come across. Because the better that we are as individuals, the more we could help the people that we love and we care about. And to do that, you got to bust your ass every day. And you got to chase those dreams every single day like we were talking about. And you got to put in the work. And you got to always be contacting people and doing your thing and networking. You know, don't be selfish. Don't always just try to be thinking about you and what you're okay with, you know, and all that. Just try to think bigger. Try to think about the people that you love and try to do what you can to help better their life. Even if you feel like you can't. But, this also could not have been possible without everyone in this room. Again, just want to highlight that. This fucking guy, Zane, has been with us for the longest time. All right.
Veteran.
Yes, veteran. And, you know, everyone in here, everyone that, even if you weren't, you know, like your name wasn't in here along with me, you know, super grateful. And we couldn't have done this without any of you guys, without the support. Literally, it is physically not possible. One person can never do any of that themselves. They need other people. They need a family. They need friends. They need, you know, supporters. They need all that to push things to the next level. So without that, we're nothing. So thank you guys. This has been fun. Before we wrap this up, we will shout something out, something that we think is dope, something we think is slept on out here. Zane, I know you got a show. I know you got a movie you watched. What do you got?
Oh, I got one easy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Definitely check that movie out. I've seen it 2 times already, and I will see it a 3rd time if necessary. I was gonna see it today, but I was like, I gotta do this podcast.
Word, let's go.
Yeah,
that's fire, man. Yeah, I've been wanting to see that too. So that shit is lit. I'm gonna shout out Crispy's Pod, man, and not just because, yo, it's Crispy, but that shit is so fire. It's been super fun on my end too to help him produce it. We've met some dope athletes so far, so it's just a really cool journey. And it's you know, again, Crispy is one of those individuals that no matter what he does, he puts in his 120%. He does that shit. So stay tuned for that. Watch that. Jay, you got anything you want to shout out? Anything that you think is dope, slept on out here?
Nah, nothing that comes to mind.
Nothing to come to mind. Anything? What's something that you think just more people should know about? anything out, even if it's like it doesn't have to be a show, it could be just anything. Could be anything in the world that you think maybe more people should
be aware of.
Yeah.
Favorite song?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it quit.
You call it quits? All right. We'll be back next week. Next week she got 2 shout outs. Huh?
Yeah,